Hi everyone, welcome to the first video on the topic of simple interest and compound interest. So here we will be talking, in this video we'll be talking about what is simple interest, what is compound interest, basic formulas and some examples. So welcome to that. So when we talk about simple interest and compound interest, first of all, what is the difference between the two? What is the major difference? Except the usage of formulas. We can use formulas and just blindly do them. But it is always better to understand what it means. So suppose if I have 10,000 rupees, okay, if I just take 10,000 rupees and if I invest it at simple interest for 2 years at whatever rate, at say 8%. So in the first year, I will get some interest. I will get 8% of 10,000. Okay. Now, in simple interest, what happens? Suppose you've invested this money in a bank or wherever you have invested with a friend or whatever. What happens in simple interest? Whether you collect the money, the interest from the person or not, doesn't matter. Next year also, the person will give you interest only on 10,000 rupees. That means whatever was the amount which you had invested, whether you want to call it principal, whether there's some other term for it, whatever you want to call it, next year also you will get the interest only exactly on that amount. That means you will get 8% of 10,000. We know how to calculate percentages. We've done the chapter of percentages. So we will do 8% of 10,000 in the first year, which will come out to be 800 rupees. Second year also you'll get 8% of 10,000. Third year also you'll get 8% of 10,000 and so on. While in compound interest, what happens? You had given 10,000 to the person and say you are going to collect all the money after 2 years. That means the interest which has been earned for the first year will be same. The method of calculating simple interest and compound interest for the first year is always same. So hence in the first year you will earn 800 rupees here also. But what happens in that case? In the second year you will earn interest on 10,000 also and you will earn interest on 800 also. So you will earn 8% of 10,000 800. Rate remaining same, you will earn 8% of 10,000 800. That will be 108 into 8. That will be 864. So if you notice what has happened in compound interest, first year was 800 rupees, like in simple interest. But in simple interest, every year it will keep remaining 800. While compound interest, it will keep changing every year. And that is the major difference between simple interest and compound interest. Let's learn it through some formulas first, basic formulas. When I say simple interest, the formula for simple interest is very easy. You can do P into N into R upon 100, where P is the principal, N is the number of years for which you have invested, R is the rate upon 100, rate of interest which you are charging. For compound interest, there is no direct formula for compound interest. You first calculate the amount. Amount is the what you will actually get after 2 years, 3 years or n years. So the amount becomes P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to n. That means P is your principal, R is the rate of interest. Suppose in the previous example, which we took 8%. So 1 plus 8 upon 100 and n was 2 in that case. So raised to 2. And you will get the total amount. And then you can use the formula. Compound interest will be amount minus principal. Subtract them to get the compound interest. So you've got simple interest and compound interest. Now, amount every time, whether it is simple interest or compound interest, formula for amount will be always principal plus interest. Okay. That will always be the formula for amount. N in compound interest is number of time periods. So we will understand this later as we go ahead, where we will do compounded half yearly, compounded yearly, compounded quarterly. All those examples I will create in the next video, right? So what are the terms and terminology which we learned in this part? Interest. Okay, interest can be two types. It can be simple interest and compound interest. A is the amount, which is always principal plus interest. P is the principal. This is the amount which you actually are going to invest. N is the number of years and R is the rate of interest which you're charging or you're earning or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so this will come the formulas. Now, let's take an example first to understand this. So we'll understand exact difference between simple interest and compound interest. A very basic example. A sum of rupees 10,000 is lent at 10% per annum. Find the a 10% rate of interest per annum. Okay, now what have we got to find? We are creating a table. This, in fact, I call this as a table method. where I'm going to understand the difference between simple interest and compound interest. So first, let's finish simple interest. Your principal was 10,000. Your interest is 10% of 10,000. 10% of 10,000 becomes 1,000 rupees. So you will earn 1,000 rupees interest over here. But in the second year, your principal still remains 10,000 and you will still earn 1,000. Third year, it will still remain 10,000. Again, you will earn 1,000. Fourth year, it will still remain 10,000 and you will still earn 1,000. That means every year, your interest earned is the same. Very important. In simple interest, every year the interest earned remains the same. That means in simple interest will become 4,000 after 4 years, which if you notice is also a very simple thing. There was 10% per annum. That means 10% for 1 year. So you can directly in simple interest say you will earn 40% for 4 years. So if you want to use the formula PNR upon 100, you will still get the same answer, or you can directly do 40%. That does not work for compound interest. Compound interest becomes different. First year, same. First year, your principal is 10,000. Your interest is 1,000. So remember a simple rule. The first year ka simple interest and compound interest is same. The simple interest earned in the first year and simple interest earned in the second year is always the same. Now, what happens in the second year? This 1,000 gets added over here. That means, suppose I've given this money to the bank. So the bank at the end of the 1 year tells me, okay, your balance is 11,000 rupees. Great. That means now I will earn interest on 11,000. Rate remaining the same, 10%. I will earn interest on 11,000, which will become 1,100. After 2 years, the bank tells me your total amount which is there with us becomes 11,000 plus 1,100, which will become 12,100. Then again, you will earn 10% on it. So you will earn 1,210. So again, what happens? The bank tells you at the end of the third year, the amount with the bank has become how much? If you add these two up, so you will get 13,310, 13,310. Okay, so now again the bank will pay you 10% of this. 10% of this will become 1,331. And therefore, what is the important thing you notice? That every year your compound interest changes. Your compound interest is not same any of the years. In fact, compound interest will always keep on increasing every year. And we will see what kind of pattern it follows for increasing also. That's going to be very important. Okay, so the total compound interest earned can be calculated after 4 years. We can add this. This will become 1, 3 plus 1, 4, 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6. And we get 4,641. So the total simple interest earned is 4,000. The total compound interest earned is 4,641. So therefore, our difference becomes 641 rupees. Okay, we'll do a lot of questions around difference also. So we've earned a difference. Now, one very important thing which you can learn now a little bit, understand it so that as we keep using it more and more, you'll understand it better, is that if you notice very carefully the relation between the interest value, in fact, these principal values and the interest value, they follow the same logic. 10%, if I do 10% as a decimal, so if I do 10% as a decimal, it is 0.1. That means if something increases by 0.1, it becomes 1.1 or 11 by 10. We've learned this in the chapter of percentages also. Something increases by 1.1, it will become 1.1. Okay, so now if you notice, all these relations are into 1.1. You can open your calculator and check. 10,000 multiplied by 1.1 gives you 11,000. 11,000 multiplied by 1.1 gives you 12,100. And 12,100 multiplied by 1.1 gives you 13,310. And exactly the same logic is followed over here also. 1,000 multiplied by 1.1 is 1,100. 1,100 multiplied by 1.1 is 1,210, and 1,210 multiplied by 1.1 is 1,331, right? So every single time, if this rate is 10%, this will follow 1.1 or 11 by 10. So obviously with different rates, we can calculate it same way. Suppose the rate was 12.5%. We know 12.5% is the increment of 1 by 8. That means it will become 9 by 8. And hence every time it will keep becoming 9 by 8 and so on. Okay, let's understand some questions. So now we're going to take 4-5 examples. In how many years will 8560 amount to 11770 at simple interest at 12.5% per annum? Straightforward example. They have told us principal is rupees 8560 and the amount is rupees 11770. And they've told us at simple interest. That means we don't have to look at compound interest at all. So what will be the, first of all, the simple interest earned? We know this formula that amount is principal plus simple interest. So simple interest will become amount minus principal. So 11770 minus 8560. Let's do this calculation. So we'll get 0, 7 minus 6, 1, 7 minus 5, 2, 11 minus 8, 3. So 3210 is my simple interest earned. We want to calculate number of years. Okay, let's do that calculation. Simple interest is equal to P multiplied by N multiplied by R upon 100. We know simple interest is 3210. This multiplied by 100 will go up is equal to P, which I know is 8560 into N, which I don't know, and the rate I know is 12.5%. Okay. Now, let's see this calculation. 12.5, if I remove this decimal, I'll get a 10 over here, so 0 cuts out. Okay. 25 5s are 25 4s are. I'll show you a simpler method also. 25 5s are 25 4s are. 4 will cut over here. 4 1s are 4 2s are. 4 1s are 4 4s are. Okay. 5 will cut over here. 5 6s are 30. 2 5 4s are 20. And this is 2. 214 and 642. Does it go directly? Nothing else is left off. So n is equal to 642 divided by 214. We can cut with 2. So this will become 3. In fact, I think it will go exactly 3 times. 204 3s is 600 and 14 3s is 42. So this will go exactly 3 times. So the number of years is 3 years. Now, this sounds like a very not a great approach. Okay, let me explain some different approaches. For the same question, how could you have done it in slightly different way? Okay, so first part of the question, I would keep it as it is. Simple interest calculation, I would leave it as it is. And then I would work on the interest for 1 year. Now, I know the interest for 3 years is 3210. In fact, for n years, because I don't know 3 that time. So interest for n years is 3210. And I know rate is 12.5%. So what will be 12.5% as a fraction is how much? So interest for 1 year will be 12.5% of the principal, which is nothing but 1 by 8 of 8560. That will become 8 ones are 0, 8 sevens are, and then 0. So 1070 is the interest for 1 year. And now you can clearly see this is roughly will go 3 times. So you can check in your rough work 1070 into 3. 21, 2, 3. Perfect. That tells you n is 3 years. This is also a great approach. Obviously, the regular formula approach is also nice, but as you get better with the chapter, you have to improve your speed. Okay, let's go ahead to the next question. A sum of money amounts to rupees 8,000 in 3 years and 9,600 in 5 years at simple interest. Find the rate of interest and the principal. Again, there can be a long method or short method. So first case, the same money at the same rate of interest after 3 years is becoming 8,000 and after 5 years is becoming 9,600. So a lot of people do this question with a lot of property and formula. So they say amount is equal to principal plus simple interest. I'm just explaining this. This is what people do. And then they will say, okay, amount is 8,000. I don't know the principal. Simple interest ka formula is P into N. Over here, N is 3. I don't know R also upon 100. This is kind of my first equation where P and R both are missing. And in the second equation, 9600 is equal to P plus P into 5 into R upon 100, because second time it is 5 years. They get these two equations and then they solve them carefully, subtract them carefully. And even after that, it is not very, very straightforward. It is not difficult, but not very, very straightforward. So suppose if I continue and explain, subtracting these two equations. So if I'm subtracting these two equations, 9600 minus 8000 will become 1600. P minus P will be 0. And over here, I have 5 PR upon 100 minus 3 PR upon 100, which will become 2 PR upon 100. 2 cuts over here, 2 ones are 2 eights are 0, 0. And we get PR is 800 into 100, which is 80,000. So we got the value for PR as 80,000. And now you put this PR in any one of the equations. So suppose if I put it in the first equation, so I have 8,000 is equal to P, I don't know, plus 3 multiplied by 80,000 upon 100. The two zeros cut out. And this becomes 2,400. And we can then get P. So 8,000 minus 2,400, which will become 5,600 becomes my P. Put it over here to get a R. That's one approach. You will get R, you will get 80,000 divided by 5,600. You can check how much you're getting. So R will become 80,000 divided by 5,600. 0, 0 cut. 8 hundreds are 8 sevens are 100 divided by 7. We know 1 by 7 is a fraction. We have done the chapter of part of fractions and percentages, 14.28%. I would never do this method. This is the method I would never expect you to do. So what should I want? What would I want you to do? Let's pay attention to some other method. You have some principal. It earns, suppose the yearly interest is I. The simple interest you earn every year is I. So when you earn 3I, so the principal plus 3 times the interest reaches 8,000. And then you, because simple interest, every year the interest is same. So you earn interest for 2 more years, because total for 5 years, and you reach 9,600. So what do you notice? You directly notice these two. You can make out 2I is 9,600 minus 8,000, which is 1,600. So 2I is 1,600. So I is 800. So we directly got interest for 1 year is 800. And once I got that, okay, everything becomes very simple. Principal plus 3I was 8,000. So 1 year ka is 800. So 3 years ka interest will become 2,400. And therefore principal becomes 2,400 subtract from 8,000, which will become 5,600. How do I calculate rate over here? Now start the sum like a fresh sum. Your principal is 5,600. For every year, you're getting a rate of interest of 800. So what is your rate? So rate becomes 800 divided by 5,600 into 100. So we'll get 2 zeros cut out over here. 8 ones are 8 sevens are. 1 by 7 as a percentage becomes 14.28%. So I think the second method is much, much, much easier. You should definitely follow that method. Let's look at one more question. In how many years will an amount earning simple interest still at 15% per annum become 4 times? What does it mean by becoming 4 times? It's very simple. You can do any number and do this calculation. You can assume let the principal be 100 rupees. It is amounting to 4 times. That means the amount becomes 400 rupees. Rate given is 15% per annum. And we want to find the number of years. First of all, I can easily get the simple interest. I can get simple interest as amount minus principal. So simple interest will become 300. And then use a simple interest ka formula. Simple interest is equal to P into N, which I don't know, into R, which is 15 upon 100. 100 cut. So N becomes 300 upon 15, which is 20. So it will take 20 years for the amount to become 4 times. What could be a faster and easier way to do it? Basically, understand when something becomes 4 times. So see, when something becomes double, we say rate has increased, it has become double, which means the interest earned is 100%. So when we say double, the interest earned is 100%. When it triples, we say interest earned is 200%. Understand this, okay, very carefully. So when it becomes 4 times, the interest earned is 300%, right? 1 year is earning you 15%. 1 year is earning you 15%. So to earn 300%, it will take how many years? So it will be 300 divided by 15, which will take 20 years. So that becomes one more very easy approach to do such a question. Okay, so with every question, we are learning a couple of approaches. We'll come to a couple of compound interest questions now, and we'll see a couple of different approaches for this. Find the compound interest obtained on investing rupees 34300 at 14.28%, which we know we should be 1 by 7 for 3 years. So let's look at the standard method first. The formula for amount. Amount is equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to N. Okay. So how much will it become? Amount P you want to find. Principal is 34300 into 1 plus R upon 100. So 14.28 upon 100, which will become 1 by 7 raised to 3. 1 plus 1 by 7 will become 8 by 7. So 34300 into 8 by 7 into 8 by 7 into 8 by 7. If you know your calculations well, you should know that 7 into 7 into 7 is 343. Otherwise, cut it every time. Otherwise, you should know that 7 is 343. So this will go exactly 100 times. 8 into 8 into 8 is 512. So we'll get 51200. 51,200 is my amount. What is the compound interest? Because that was what is asked. It will be 51200 minus 34300. So we'll get a 00 over here. Okay. The 12 minus 3 is 9. 0. So 10 minus 4 is 6. And I think a 1. So 16,900 would be your total compound interest earned in 3 years. That's one way of doing it. Can we see some other approaches to do it? Could I have done a table method as what I explained earlier? So what was the principal? 34300. In the first year, I will earn 7% interest. That is 1 by 7 of this. 7 fours are 28, 7 nines are 63, 00. That means I'll earn 4,900. Now, remember what I'd explained to you earlier also. Every year, this compound interest will keep increasing by 8 by 7 or will become 8 by 7. Okay, and that's the main trick in such questions. So first year is 4,900. Second year will become 4,900 into 8 by 7, which will become 5,600. Third year will become 5,600 into 8 by 7. It will become 6,400. Let's add all of them up. This is 12,000 plus 4, 16,900. Okay. So directly compound interest. If I wanted to do the calculation every year, I would have to spend a lot more time. What would I have to do? I would have to do 4,000. I would have to add this 34300 plus 4,900 on that 1 by 7. That's a waste of time. And hence, knowing these shortcuts are very important, that the rate was 1 by 7. And therefore, every year, the compound interest earned will become 8 by 7. Okay, let's go ahead to the next question. Find the difference between simple interest and compound interest earned obtained on investing rupees 62,500 at 8% for 2 years. Now, I will be doing a complete separate video on differences where we will talk about differences, but here I'm going to try and just use a basic approach. Okay, so, and it's only a 2-year thing, so it's going to be very easy. So simple interest will be directly 1 year is 8%. So 2 years will be 16%. So you can directly do 16% of 62500. So 2 zeros cut out. 16 का table, 16 5 is 88 carry, 16 to the 32 plus 8 44 carry, 64 plus 4 70 and 7,000. Okay, that's the simple interest earned. 7,000 will be the total simple interest earned. No, there's some definitely mistake. 16 6 is 96, 96 plus 4 is 100. Sorry, made a small error in calculation. So the last part is 100 with 2 zeros. So the total interest earned is 10,000 rupees. We'll just erase that much and just write it again. Total interest earned, simple interest earned will be 10,000 rupees. You can just check the calculation again. 16 5s are 88 carry, 32 plus 8 44 carry, 96 plus 4 100. So 10,000 is the total simple interest earned. What about compound interest? What I just did in the earlier question, I would do 8% of 62,000, or I can do 8 is how much? It is, how much is 8 as a fraction? If you want to use the fraction approach, 8% is 2 by 25. So when something is 2 by 25, when something is increasing by 2 by 25, it will become 27 by 25. Let's have a look at different approaches. So the first time the interest will be regular, 8% of 62500, which will be exactly 5,000. Okay, but the second time it will be 27 by 25 of this amount. So 27 by 25 of 5,000. 25 2s are 00, 5400. And hence the total compound interest will be 10,800. 10,400, sorry. You can do different approaches for such questions, and we wanted to find the difference. So the difference will be 400 rupees. There will be so many different approaches for this question. Okay, as I said, we could have done the formula. You could have done it separately. You could have also done something like this. Suppose what is simple interest for the first year? It will be 8% of 62500, right? Which will be 5,000 rupees. So compound interest for first year is also 5,000, no doubt. Simple interest for second year will be 5,000. Compound interest for second year will be interest on 62,500 plus 5,000. That means compound interest for second year will be 8% of 67,500. 00 cut. Check the calculation. 8 5s are 44 carry. 56 plus 4, 66 carry. 48 plus 6, 54. And compound interest for second year becomes 5,400. So the difference is 400 rupees. Is that clear? Obviously, as I said, I'll be doing a complete separate video on this part where we will be talking about difference, where I'll give you a formula. I'll teach you how you can use successive percentage change and a lot of different approaches. Let's see the last example for this topic. Calculate the amount accrued and the compound interest earned if rupees 15,000 is lent at compound interest for 2 years at two different rates, one's at 8% and one's at 10%. Now, if you want to use a formula, then the formula was this, but you can't use the formula over here because R is not same. But you can still use the formula smartly. You can say amount is equal to P, which was 15,000, into 1 plus first year rate was 8%, and then make one more bracket with a rate of 10%. And that is how you can use this formula smartly. Okay? No raised to n, because both the years I got separate brackets. So it will become 15,000 into this will become 108 upon 100. This will become 110 upon 100. Here 0 cuts out. 3 zeros cut out over here. So we are left with 15 into 108 into 11, right? 108 into 15 will be an easy calculation. 15 8s is 120. So 12 carry. So 2, 1 carry, 16. 1620 into 11. 11 to the 22, 66 plus 2, 68, 6 carry. 11 plus yeah, 6 carry, 11 plus 6, 17. So 17820. That's one approach to do it. The other approach, as we said, is always a table method. We had 15,000. What is 8% of 15,000? Let's try and do this calculation orally. What is 8% of 15,000 will be? So what is 1% of 15,000? It's 150. So 2% is 300. So 4% is 600 and 8% becomes 1200. So 8% is 1200. And the second year, this 1500 plus 1200 will become your principal, 16,200, on which you will earn 10%. 10% is always an easy calculation, 1620. And therefore, your total compound interest will be 2820. And therefore, amount will be 17,820. Here also, you would have got the compound interest as 2820 anyways. So the amount accrued is 17,820 and the compound interest is 2820. So couple of questions I've just done over here, 5 questions totally to explain the formulas of simple interest and compound interest. I hope you've gone through the video well. Thank you.